Well, something a little unusual in the take it apart, not take it apart section. Whelen has a product known as a broadcaster, and our Chris is going to demonstrate that in conjunction with a Siren amplifier and a speaker inside the studio. Let's go check it out.
Well, thank you, Stuart. I have here Whelen Engineering's Broadcaster. It's a unit that's designed for public address for situations where you need to have a message broadcasted over the vehicle's siren system for letting folks know what's going on, providing directions to a certain location, traffic directing, really anything where you need to have a message that can play outside of something that you would just normally grab your PA mic for to do a one-time broadcast out of the car, as please pull to the shoulder, so on. So rather than talking about it, I'm going to go ahead, take the demonstration unit that I have here in front of me, turn on some components just to give you a first-hand look at the broadcaster and how it works exactly. I have it paired up with Whelen Engineering's 295 SL101 Siren Amplifier. Now, the broadcaster needs to be partnered with an amplifier unit for the fact that it works off of the radio rebroadcast function that the amplifier unit has built into it. To get things started, I'm going to go ahead, turn the power switch on to my Siren amp here. It works as normal with the broadcaster off as it is currently. So with that, if you need to, Siren Tones is appropriate on your normal amplifier here. Now, when you want to use the broadcaster, go ahead, take your knob or your push button selector, switch it over to the radio indicator as shown here. Go ahead and take the broadcaster and hit the radio power button. That'll go ahead and activate the broadcaster itself. You can see that the unit is on and active when the red indicator comes on here. Now the unit itself, I'll go ahead, spin it around so you can see the harness. The unit itself has its own pigtail. So with that, it needs to have a ground and a positive 12-volt source of its own to work properly. 2 additional trigger wire sets on the back. You have a white with a violet trace that you can tie into an optional 2-way radio system that you may have in the vehicle. Otherwise, you'll take the 2 blue trigger wires here, tie them into the radio rebroadcast wires. In this case, on the 295, happen to correspond to blue. So with mixing 2 Whelen components, the wiring goes right together. I've gone ahead and added the 2-pin connector here, just for a disconnect feature. So with that, radio rebroadcast wires from the broadcaster and from the 295 are connected together, allowing the 2 units to communicate. From there, 2 trigger wires here, the orange and the black, are taking the 295 amplifier and then putting the tone signal into the small speaker system that I have on this demo unit. From there, lead wires, ground wires, tied together as appropriate, run through a pigtail to 12-volt source. So as you can see, pretty straightforward as far as the wiring and tying the unit into your actual siren unit. Now on the unit, in case you're wondering, when it's in this mode here and the red indicator is on radio, your radio repeat function will work as normal. If you'd like to switch the unit for message broadcast, you'll go ahead, push the button again, and you can see that it moves the diode indicator over to message. So your message would go ahead and broadcast, as I'll show you here in a moment, with the buttons. So again, back and forth between the 2 functions. For deactivating the unit here, it's not done through the amp unit itself here. You can see I turn this off, this unit still stays on. So to return the unit to its off position, power button here, hold it in for about a second, unit deactivates. So when there's no indicators on here, the unit is in deactivated or standby mode. Again, give it a quick tap, unit comes on, select as appropriate. Now the unit utilizes the included microphone and a microphone clip that comes with the unit. Not this one exactly, this is a magnetic one that I just happen to have on the unit here. It'll come with a normal microphone clip that you would affix onto your console or your dash as appropriate. What's neat with the microphone is it's removable. So if you'd like, go ahead, turn it off here. You can remove it when you don't need it to be used on the broadcaster at the moment. So really, if you just want to save some room, save some cables and some microphones, you can take it away when it's not necessary. Turn the unit back on. Again, radio mode on the Siren amp here. What I'm going to go ahead and do is do a message recording. Pretty straightforward. When the unit's on, set to message, go ahead, push in the push to talk, record will come on, and as long as that's in and record's on, the message is free to record. When you're done, let go of the push to talk, and it'll deactivate the record function. So, best way to demonstrate, welcome to SIRENNET Television. So as you can see, record came on, record came off, as push to talk is pushed in and pushed out as appropriate. So with that, if I want to replay the message just for one time, welcome to SIRENNET Television, it'll press and play one time, as just shown. So again, quick tap, play button comes on, message broadcasts. Now if you'd like the message to continuously play, go ahead, hold the button in for about a second. Welcome to SIRENNET Television. Welcome to SIRENNET Television. And the unit is set to repeat mode. So the play and the message, both indicated here, and the unit continues to broadcast the message until you press it again to deactivate. If you'd like to do a little bit more to grab some attention so folks are more aware of the broadcast that they need to listen in and be attentive to, you can add a siren tone. So with that, pretty trick little function here, the Siren Select has 4 positions. It has an off tone, which I have it set to now. I'll show you how that'll change in a minute. And then 3 different tone modes that'll play before the message itself. So to select the tone, go ahead, push in the button here, release, and it flashes as appropriate. Every time I push it, it pans across. And when the indicator is left, in this case here, it was last set on record, what I can go ahead and do is play the message, and it'll have a tone activate before the message. Welcome to SIRENNET Television. Now, again, that's with the one tap. If you'd like it to repeat, hold it in. Welcome to SIRENNET Television. Welcome to SIRENNET Television. There you have it. It'll keep going as appropriate. Welcome. Push the button, deactivate it, and I'll just go ahead and go through to show you the other 2 tones that the unit offers before the message will play. So again, press the Siren Select in, hold it for a moment, go ahead, put it to the second position. Now the first position, when it's in radio, that's actually the off mode. So that's what it was set to for the first time when I did the broadcast and there was no tone played before it. So now, welcome to SIRENNET Television. As you can see, I'll go ahead, do it one more time so you can see again how easy it is to program the tone to set it to the other tone that's offered. So again, play was the last one to flash, indicator's gone back to steady mode now, so push the button. Welcome to SIRENNET Television. And there you have it. So Whelen Broadcaster tied in with a Siren Amplifier with radio repeat function, set the knob to repeat, activate the broadcaster as appropriate, record the message as appropriate, repeat it or play it as you need, and siren tone adjustment as you may or may not need for the attention grabbing for the recorded message. Pretty straightforward unit from Whelen Engineering. Great for applications where you need to have messages broadcast for letting folks know what's going on again. And there you have it. Pretty darn straightforward, very easy to use. Whelen Broadcaster 295 SL101, just one example of what this can be partnered up with. I'm Chris. Thanks for watching SIRENNET Television. Back to you, Stuart.
Well, Chris, that was pretty darn interesting. Greatly appreciate that. I'm Stuart. Thanks for watching.